17 years ago, the transformation of Regent Park started to take place from low-rise social housing to the community it is today. Some would consider it a success, but some new research out of U of T shows that there has been some significant problems and lessons learned along the way.
Overall, I think when you go through Regent Park today, in many ways, it is unrecognizable from what it was before.
Yet Regent Park isn't done yet.
Right.
Many people expected it would be at this point.
A whole bunch of things. One is the political environment, right? Yeah. Changes in terms of the mayor at the City of Toronto, which then resulted in dramatic change in the leadership of Toronto Community Housing.
Where does it get hung up?
If we think about what are the most important parts of that vision, right? The first thing is the rebuilding of all of the public housing in Regent Park. What I would say are some of the biggest challenges were around providing a benefit to community members, that understanding that public housing residents are residents, that they may come from vulnerable situations or low-income households, but they are residents and they deserve to have access to amenities and they deserve to have access to affordable, accessible, proper, appropriate housing units. Redevelopment of Regent Park has done very little to nothing in terms of increasing the number of rent geared to income housing units. There is some movement on adding new affordable housing units, but these are not geared towards the very lowest income households. The relationship involves the developer, the city, the housing agency, the community organizations, and also other levels of government and more. It's a complex relationship. It evolves over time. Sometimes it depends on who is in the leadership role.
How do we improve upon what exists now in terms of the living experience?
There are still challenges related to differences, whether those are economic differences or social differences amongst the residents. There are efforts by some to ensure that there are opportunities to work together, to socialize together, right? The Aquatic Center is a wonderful example. It looks in many ways like an experiment, and in some places the experiment didn't work or it needs to be bolstered, right? But at the same time, cities are nothing if not places of great experimentation, and I hold great hope that we can continue to both innovate and think through the challenges related to housing, affordable housing, community, economic development, integrating newcomers. And I think Regent Park is a really perfect place where we can start to do this.
Phases 4 and 5 of redevelopment here in Regent Park have just received approval from City Hall, with groundbreaking set to begin on more than a dozen buildings soon. Mark McAllister, City News.